Hey everyone, what's going on? Jeff here from Films at Home, and I'm back with another 4K Ultra HD review. Today we're taking a look at the latest catalog release from Sony Pictures Home Entertainment. This is Guy Ritchie's movie Snatch on 4K for the first time. We're going to dive into the video, the audio, all the special features and packaging, and honestly whether or not this is going to be worth upgrading in your collection from a DVD or a Blu-ray and making that leap to 4K Ultra HD. So Snatch is a classic crime, mobster, heist movie, you name it, all kinds of stuff going on here. Very much Guy Ritchie, flavor to this movie. I really like it. It was one of Brad Pitt's probably earliest breakout roles, as well as probably Jason Statham, but it's probably still Guy Ritchie's best movie. Maybe Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. I don't know. There's an argument there, but a lot of people really like Snatch. So I was excited to see it come to 4K because I remember watching the Blu-ray, and the Blu-ray was a little soft on detail, and it also had some color issues. If you've seen tongue twister, if you've seen Snatch before, if you've seen Snatch before, you know that the movie has a bit of like a blue, green, gray tint to it. It's very tinted, like purposely. It was clearly an artistic choice to tint it that way, but I thought the Blu-ray really just couldn't handle it well, and so a lot of skin tones and things were made to look almost like too blue. People almost looked like they were dead. There was no color, to them. They looked dead and blue, like they had just, drowned or something. The colors just weren't right. And so that's what I was looking here for on this 4K disc, was really, can they correct that? And how big an upgrade in quality will this be, since it is a 35mm film and this was rescaled up to 4K with a new restoration. So I will say that I was pleasantly surprised by the way they handled the color grading on this first. That was my biggest complaint. How's the blue-green tint and the gray kind of color, dreary look and feel of this movie going to look on 4K with HDR? And I will say that skin tones and your basic kind of color palette look much better. They're much more natural. The blue has been removed. People don't look like they've drowned and died. They actually have a little color to them now, which is great because it was really a dull Blu-ray before. So that's a check mark there. They definitely fixed that. Otherwise, though, the HDR isn't super strong here. It adds a little bit on contrast, and black levels are better. It's a little brighter. Some of the highlights you'll see here, like the taxi sign that I took a screenshot of, that's a little bit brighter, right? But they're not a whole lot of major improvements. It's still a very dull, kind of dreary color scheme. But the HDR at least corrected the issues with some of those base colors like skin tones and like grays and blues on backgrounds and the green of grass. Like that stuff was fixed. Now the detail is also a really nice upgrade, and that's another testament to 35mm and the work that Sony does. Sony consistently has been hitting their 4K discs out of the park, and Snatch is no exception. Their 4K mastering team and the restoration team over there is incredible. Huge props to them because they continue to bang out excellent releases of catalog titles and excellent restorations. This is no exception. The detail on this is much improved, as you'll probably see in some of the screenshots. You're getting a much clearer image, a much sharper image. Still retains that film grain, which is going to be a little heavy in some scenes because of the color scheme. Anytime you have kind of a darker color on the screen, the film grain tends to show a little bit more than with brighter colors. So it's a little more apparent here on Snatch, but it's consistent, it's true to the movie, and it's much better than the Blu-ray that came out in 2009. It was one of the earlier Blu-ray releases. It was not one of my favorites, and this is a big improvement. So from a visual standpoint, this is well worth upgrading. Now on the audio side, we also get a Dolby Atmos track here, which again, very, very good. Sony knows what they're doing with Dolby Atmos. They've proved that time and time again, and they've got another great mix here for Snatch. It's not over the top. It's not Saving Private Ryan. Snatch has its moments. It is sort of dialogue heavy, and I don't think any Dolby Atmos track would, allow you to actually understand what Brad Pitt's character is saying in this movie.
He's afraid you're not welcome anymore.
I think
you should fuck off now. Well, you still got the legs to carry you.
So it didn't fix that. In a lot of the accents, I always have a hard time with these real hard, like British Cockney accents. And so, I have a hard time picking up on the dialogue in some of Guy Ritchie's movies, especially Snatch. But I thought it was a little clearer here. Maybe it's just a better mix. It's a better balance. The center channel was, a little more well balanced than on previous mixes. I thought it was a good mix. In the highlight moments, shootouts, car chases, things like that happen. Any of the action moments in this movie are certainly making full use of the Atmos, which is a good thing. Now the packaging here is pretty standard. This is like the Snatch, you know, movie poster. You see this everywhere that the movie's promoted. Same thing on the inside. You've got the typical Sony sort of snap case. You've got the 4K and the Blu-ray disc, both with some artwork on them, which is nice. This also does come with the digital copy, which should redeem in 4K. Now there are no special features on the 4K disc, but on the Blu-ray, I believe these are all ported over. But anyway, you get a director and producer commentary, some deleted scenes, Making Snatch, the featurette, storyboards, and a video photo gallery. So nothing really special here, nothing that leaps out over the top in terms of the special features. The real reason to upgrade is definitely going to be the visuals, the new 4K master from the 35mm negative, the HDR upgrade, which really fixes a lot of the coloring issues I had with the Blu-ray, and that new Dolby Atmos audio, which is a great track. So overall, I would say that if you're a fan of this movie, it's worth an upgrade. I don't know that this is one that maybe everyone's going to be chasing after. It's not at the level of an Indiana Jones or Back to the Future or, you know, something really, really big. It's another, you know, pretty well-known catalog title that has its cult following, has a lot of fans. But if you are a fan of the movie, this is by far the best it's ever looked. I really think they fixed a lot of the issues with previous Blu-rays that were out there in DVD releases. So I really like what they did, and that Dolby Atmos is clearly as good as it gets for this movie. So I would recommend upgrading. I think you'll be able to find this for a good price. The Sony catalog titles, especially around Black Friday, tend to drop. You can get this now for like your typical $22, $25, but something like this probably drops to maybe $12 on Black Friday. So maybe it's that type of release you hold out for a few months. But if you're a super fan and you like Guy Ritchie's stuff, this is as good as any of his movies have ever looked, so I would recommend picking this one up for sure. If you do want to pick it up, I will leave a link down in the description where you can order this. That helps support my channel, so I appreciate it. Also, make sure to follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Those are great ways to get in touch with me and keep up to date with all the latest news. And of course, make sure you're subscribed and like this video. If you're subscribed, you also get signed up for my community posts on YouTube where I post news and updates. That's a great way to stay in touch with things as well. And if your notifications are on, you'll always know when the latest video goes live. So help us hit 100K. Subscribe to the channel right now. I'd really appreciate it. So with that being said, I did like Snatch, another great release from Sony. So keep up the good work to the folks at Sony Home Entertainment. They've been doing a great job with all their releases, and I'm happy to see it. This is just another one in a long line of catalog titles. So props to them. Appreciate them sending this out to me early for review as well, so you guys could hear about it. But yeah, that's about it for the video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Stay safe and stay healthy out there, and I will talk to you soon.